कस्तूरी तिलकम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कंकणं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कंकणं कस्तूरी तिलकम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् कस्तूरी सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली सर्वांगे हरि सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि कस्तूरी तिलकम् कस्तूरी तिलकम् ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं कस्तूरी तिलकम्
once it comes up.
Namaskaram. This is Sandhya Shankar bringing you the program ACHARYA CHAT from Music of Madras. This program is brought to you by Liver, who actually it's a 3-in-1. It's a deodorizer, it's a sterilizer, and most important, it's an air purifier. Our guest today is very well known and established exponent in Hindustani Mewati Gharana of music, and she has made time for us to come here to our studio and chat with us. Lalita Sharma. Welcome, Lalita.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good evening. Thank
It's
you.
very nice that you could make it to our studios.
My pleasure, Sandhya.
So, in fact, if I recall, you'll be our first Hindustani musician who's been our guest.
Adab.
I think Chennai is so filled with Carnatic music. You are one of those rare people. And I think at the outset I must tell you that I have a very dear friend called Kavita.
Uh-huh.
Both of us have been in quest of a Hindustani teacher. I hope Kavita is watching the program, but both of us were, in search of a good Hindustani teacher. And frankly, there's a dearth in Chennai. I think you'll agree with me.
I know there are few teachers, so.
No, in proportion, in comparison to
yes, true,
Carnatics.
totally, I agree with you. Yes.
So, to begin with, being a South Indian, what made you, gravitate towards Hindustani music? I know that your early life was in Calcutta.
Yes, I was born and brought up in Calcutta, and I started my Carnatic music training under Guru Padma Narasimhan, and one cannot ask for a wonderful guru come mother. She's very encouraging, very never pushing us too much, but then in a very lovely way she encouraged me to the hilt as much as she could. And then through my school life I was on and off learning, and then later on I found I wanted to take up music more.
You were very young when you went to Padma Narasimhan.
Yes, I was 9 years old. My sister was learning from her, and she was my music guru, was my neighbor. So I would, whatever my sister learned, I would be standing on the veranda and singing all those things. And one day she said, "Inga va, na choli tare." So
I
just went.
Music drew you sort
yes,
of.
Yes, yes.
I was just wondering, whether it was an accident or
No,
somebody
it just
forced
drew
you,
me.
or
No, it just drew me, and my parents said, "Go ahead."
okay. In fact, it's a similar scenario at my home, where my atte was learning Carnatic music. And default, when the master comes home, those days the guru used to come home. He used to come all the way. I think it's so rare nowadays. So I think my mother was busy in the kitchen. She just made me and my sister go and sit over there. So we were the next lineup in students. Very interesting.
Right.
So your
True.
sister and you sang together?
No, not really. We were in different classes, and then I continued, and then my sister got married. So I was probably 14 at the time, and then once I finished my +2 in Calcutta, I decided to take music seriously. And once again, my lovely parents, they said, "Go ahead and learn." That is one thing I am till today very much grateful, and I love my parents tons for it, because at that point of time everybody was into engineering and chartered accountancy and costing and doctor, and
Music was not looked at as a
something
promising
lucrative, something
profession.
that will settle you, and all those things. They said, "Go ahead." And my mother personally came to Chennai, put me in music college, and that's where I
So with Padma Narasimhan it was Carnatic music.
Yes, and here also it was Carnatic music. I
music.
came to music college at Greenways Road.
Mhm.
I did my Sangeet Vidwan course there with distinction, and then I also went ahead and did a pedagogy teachers training course in the same college.
Wonderful.
Side by side, I trained with V.R. Krishnan, my guru,
Yes,
who is
I
a
heard
senior
about
disciple of Shemmangudi Srinivas Iyer. Yes,
Very good.
beautiful Bani, beautiful,
I think you've been fortunate with very, very good gurus.
very much so, very much so.
So is there anything...
I got it chappar phadke ekdam.
So was there a difference when you learned Carnatic music up north, Kolkata, and at the music college in Chennai?
No, this was music-wise, no. The quality-wise, no. But structure and, you fall into a course and you have a lot of theory understanding. And then I'm exposed to a lot of concerts which I could go and as a student, to Shastri Hall, Music Academy.
True.
Exposure, listening is so important.
So important. And back then you don't have
over
these,
there we would, once a year we
and-
would have some music concert for 2-3 days in Calcutta in a couple of sabhas, and that's some of the exposure we would have, apart from Radio Sangeet Sammelan, which would also come once a year on the radio. So here I could get everyday exposure to, I could go and listen to concerts, different Banis, and I had 6 excellent professors in music college.
Wow.
Ma'am Vedavalli, Dr. Prema, B. Krishnamurthy sir, my guru V.R. Krishnan, so Prabhavati ma'am. So we had the Chammagudi Bani, we had the Mudigonda.
You had the cream of...
cream, absolutely.
So what is this Bani that we, for the viewers' sake?
Yes.
So how would you distinguish this?
No, it is the style again.
I think
the
our
style
coffee is getting cold.
Go ahead. So it's the style of approaching or elaborating a rag. Also in Carnatic, the Sangati is how you would render them, the Swara Prastaram, and that is how the Manodharma actually
Manodharma.
is.
Right. So do you have any, any one favorite memory of yours with your first very guru? Because I think it's just like first love. You just don't forget your first guru, your first initiation, and something which is very, you cherish.
I don't know, Mami was she was more like a friend, I would never feel that any kind of awe or kind of fear or something that one would sometimes associate with discipline and guru. Yet somehow there was a discipline. She made sure there was a discipline. So I would be in and out of her house, having lunch, playing with her sons, and we were neighbors.
It was almost like Gurukulam.
Absolutely, and very... very encouraging. She would send me to all the competitions, prepare me personally, sit with me. So, lot of love. That's what I can remember with her.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, what is very curious about your, your profile I was reading just before we met, it's very unusual. I have not come across, should I say many, or I have not come across anyone who has excelled in both. They might have dabbled in both. That is possible. But to have reached the heights, because now we are going to come to the real part of your life, how you became the senior most student of none other than Pandit Jasrajji.
Yes, totally. Before you proceed, I would say immediate memory comes is Dr. M.S. Gopalakrishnan,
Yes.
our famous violinist,
yes.
who has excelled in both the genre of North Indian and South
Okay,
Indian.
okay.
There is Sriram Parashuramji right here in Chennai, who is so wonderful, having excelled. He excels in both. So there are only, you can count them in one.
You can
hand.
count them, yes.
So it is a very
And
big blessing.
I think it is a
it's
challenge.
God's blessing.
It's a challenge in Chennai, where I have been observing that people really take to Hindustani.
They do?
No, it's a challenge to make them accept it.
Yes.
When we go to a program, the halls are better filled for the Carnatic musicians. it's like a mecca for Carnatic music.
Yes, that makes me also.
We say
think-
we are very open-minded.
Yeah, we say music is universal.
And we'll go if the Russian ballet comes, we are there. You know? Or
Allah. So we often say music is universal. We hear it on many stages from many people, not only musicians. But we have to. This is the time to embrace
would
music.
you agree on that?
That's why I'm telling this. We have to learn to embrace music. It does not matter whether it is north or south. We also say in the same vein that music has no language. Music is universal. Music has no language. When we hear a violin, so we have to make effort, both the North Indians and the South Indians, to embrace each other's music and to just sit and listen and listen to the emotion in the music. That's all we want, no?
Mm-hmm.
Words are secondary.
True.
Yes, so we have to make it into a reality. When we say that music has no language and music is universal, we hear foreign music, we hear Italian music, we hear, all those names doesn't come to me immediately, but
Yes.
we can as well hear Hindustani and Hindustanis can as well hear Carnatic. But I think nowadays there's a lot of fusion and a lot of coming together.
Yes.
By the musicians, and
I
so
think
the
they are
same
taking
should be
the
done by the
initiative.
audience too. The
Audience
should
also.
yes.
There's the onus on the audience too.
Absolutely.
I think you musicians also need. I mean, to thrive, you need this audience. Feel the audience pulse. You know.
Totally. It is for the audience that a musician performs. But that is what everyone says. Sometimes I would say if I perform for my Atma Tripti, that will reflect to the audience also. When I feel something, I can transmit it to them. When I just say tables, nothing goes there. There's no emotion. Yes, so
What was it that what was it that made you gravitate from Carnatic? I mean, Carnatic music you put in good, solid so many years.
yes, about 16 years.
16 years.
Yes.
That's not.
I was performing here. I was performing with my guru Krishnanji, and yes, but I had to shift to Calcutta for personal reasons.
Okay.
To get married.
To get married. Okay.
Thank God
So
it never happened.
No regrets.
Not at all.
I read somewhere about you. You're very. You feel you're already very, very. You have a very solid, figure in your life, and that's Vitala.
Absolutely, you said it. Krishna is.
He's all.
Yes, totally. So, but then back then it was, I don't know, I never felt so.
But your parents didn't pressurize you.
Of course they did. I would answer the advertisements and Hindu paper, which used to Calcutta. It used to come to Calcutta one day later on Mondays.
Okay.
So I got.
Okay, that's where you find all the Tamilian boys.
Yes, in the matrimonial column. And so my father gave me a template one. I used to Xerox it, and he said me, these are the stars that would match with you. So after some time I started doing, I said 2 years. After that it's my call, no more. So 2 years I used to, there was one Shani Bhagwan ka mandir near my house. I went and did a little Vediga with that Bhagwan ji. Used to give him some 50 paisa and all that ki chalo. Not one match should come. And so
I think all the time your parents must be giving Sawa Rupiya or one rupee to
For the
Shani
others.
Bhagwan, other gods, hoping that something will work.
No, they were actually very philosophical. They said, हर एक के लिए somebody is there. वो आएगा. मैंने कहा उसको आराम से आने दो. जब हम
जल्दी नहीं
70 साल के होंगे, हमको एक चड़ी चाहिए, तब वो आएगा. So anyways.
So anyway, you went from Tamil Nadu.
I went back to Calcutta, yes.
your
And then I
hometown.
was performing there in a few sabhas, Carnatic music. As I said, it's not there much. And in the meantime, I started hearing a lot of Hindustani music.
What made you do that?
My mother was not well in those days, and she was very indisposed, and I had to sort of take care of things, and in the process I went through a lot of mental stress. And at that point of time, for me, Carnatic music, it's more Madhyalaya and Drut, that is medium tempo and fast. There is hardly any slow tempoed Vilambit compositions. The mood of the music itself is like that.
True. And today,
So,
in fact, sorry to interrupt you, it's faster the better kind of situation where everybody's racing, even if it's a lullaby, they sing it so fast that it somehow is robbing the charm out of the song.
That's because the average listener's focus is only not more than 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
So you have to impact by then.
Okay.
So that is something we really have to, tone it down and start. I do that with my students all the time. I say, when you come to the class, slow down your brain, go calm. Then when you listen, you really listen. In one shot, you can repeat what I'm saying.
Oh, you
So
sound
you
like
have
my
to
Tai Chi
calm.
master. He says once you slow down your breath,
focus will be so
then
much
your
more.
aging also slows down. So when you went back to Calcutta to help your mother and be with her,
Yes, so I found this music.
You're already distressed and-
yes, and this was giving me more stress with all the Madhyamakalam and Dhrutam and a lot of Mridangam and everything. Very dominating sound, which was at that time for me, it was literally a cacophony. I'm sorry to say. For my distressed brain, that was not giving me any sukoon. It was not giving me any melody or anything that would calm me down. So unconsciously I started listening to the night Calcutta FM and all that Ratka, Sitar and Sarod
when was
and
this?
everything. This was
Lalita?
1988, 89, 90. So that's how I started listening to a lot of Hindustani music, and that gave me the calmness and the melodic thing that really soothed me at that point of time. And then I started listening more and more, and I started doing classes, music classes.
Okay,
And
you had
and also
access
I would
to that.
Yes, I mean I was teaching, and I was also doing a lot of academic study tuitions to sort of it was necessary at that point of time. So then I got a very good chance to go and hear. So one of these days when I was hearing, I
Yes, I'm
heard
very
this person.
I want to
I
go
heard
out.
this musician who was like simply fantastic, and I just fell in love with that voice, which later, of course, turned out to be my Pujya Guruji. And then I got to hear him in Dovalin Music Conference in Calcutta, which is a 3-day, very, very old and very prestigious music conference that takes place even today in January. It should be like next week or so, on 22nd, 24th.
Is it
It's a
happening
3 whole
despite
night.
COVID?
I'm not sure. I have to take cover.
Because here ours all went up. Most of it went. I wouldn't say all,
Yeah.
but most of the concerts went online.
Right, maybe so.
So maybe there also.
Right. So that takes place January, in the 3rd week of January.
Okay.
Usually, and that is when I heard him.
That's like your December season, what we have here.
Exactly.
Similar to that, but only
Yes.
3 days.
Only 3 days. 3 nights, basically, whole nights. So that is where I heard him live. And then there was also like this November Fest, Times of India's Fest. So 2-3 places I heard him. And that was like amazing. It also hit me very emotionally, spiritually, his music. And then I would save money and buy his cassettes every month. छोटे छोटे वो EMI के जो
That 2-in-1 cassettes.
20 minutes each side, and that's how I heard him almost for 7 years before I got to meet him. So by then
All of us were proud of our little collection of cassettes,
absolutely.
And then when once I felt that
நான் போட்டு போட்டு தேஞ்சு போயிடுது.
now I feel that you collect பண்ணினமே, today I don't collect because you just have to log in and get it.
Today CDs are becoming obsolete, no? Cassettes तो बहुत दूर की बात है. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was destiny that you and Pandit ji had to meet.
It's totally God's grace, that
And so
I
you
could
went
get
to a few of his
concerts, and then I actually came in touch with Miss Kala Ramnath, the very celebrated violinist and also Pandit ji's senior disciple, and she actually encouraged me to go to him, and she introduced me to him. So Guruji would come often to Calcutta
So
in those
you kind
days.
of owe it to her.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So he would come to Calcutta very often. And then she took me to him, and he had come for a wedding, one of his best friends' wedding, son's wedding, and then that's where I met him with a room full of people, Marwadi weddings and all that. So he told me to sing. So I sang a few lines of one of his bandish, one of his
Oh,
khayals.
you had already picked it up.
Yeah, obviously you're hearing, you pick up, no?
And the Kelvi Jnanam Bale.
So I could relate to Teen Tal because it's same as Adi Talam.
Okay.
So it was one of these Teen Tal Drut khayals I sang for him, and then he made me sing South Indian music. And it was not my aim or my wish to become his student. It was only my wish to touch his feet and take his blessings, because he was like Saraswati incarnate for me. And falling in love with his music, I was thinking someday I should.
So you didn't go with the
meet
big
him.
agenda that with the
No, not at all. Just see him and take his blessings. That was my ultimate dream. Chappar Phad ke.
Seriously,
So,
he
he heard
chose
me.
you. Ah.
Yes, he heard me, and then after that he said, "How old are you?" I think I was 26 or 27 at that time. So he said, "I don't take students, I take them more younger." I said, "That's okay. I never came to you to learn. I just wanted to get your Ashirwad and to meet you. My dream is, done." Then in the evening,
I was not aspiring for anything
not
more.
at all. Honestly, no. So in the evening, his concert was there, and it finished around 11:30, and his wife, daughter, they all flew in for the
Durga
wedding.
Jasraj.
Durgaji and Madhuraji, his Mamiji, his wife. And he introduced me to them as his new disciple, and that is when I was like,
Okay. So he just proclaimed, "She's my new disciple."
yeah. So
And
it
after
was
that,
like,
there's no
I just-
looking back.
So then I started going training back and forth,
Back and
Calcutta,
forth.
Bombay, and
Oh, that must have been I mean, you must have felt like you're a chosen one.
no, I didn't think of all those things. I thought I have to do justice. I mean, I was in awe. There was so much nervousness, fear that such a great personality, such a fantastic artist, I am getting to breathe the same air as him and to be in his house and to learn. I have to do justice. So there was always that nervousness and that extreme alertness to pick up things. No magnifying our own egos. That was the last thing.
I think not everybody would have got this opportunity where they are able to work with, learn and be in their, as you said, close quarters. So is there something you'd like to share with our viewers? Something, any anecdote or anything that you would think is, which comes to your memory about Panditji?
Oh, there are tons of memories with Guruji, but it's
who
not-
doesn't know? We would know him as Sangeeta Martanda, Padma Vibhushan, Pandit Jasrajdi. I've attended one program with him with my husband, and my husband, who was actually not really into music, he simply loved it, and he said he was humming the same words in his own tuneless way, but when we drove back, it was
So
like
the impact
haunting him.
was there, yes.
Yeah, it haunted him for a very long time.
Guruji's music
He was in a
is
trance.
so full of melody and bhakti. That is one thing he has inculcated, and he has stressed. He's literally told all of us that music is melody and bhakti. These both are the main aspects. And living in his house as Gurukula Vasam, literally, for months, years.
Oh, you mean to say when you went to Bombay, you would stay with him?
Yeah, sometimes I would stay for 15 days initially. Later on, I would stay 6 months, 8 months a year, then come back for 20 days or a month and go back, and I just stay. So it was very proper Gurukula Vasam. Yes. So there's so much to learn. He taught, apart from music, the way, his sensitivity towards people, towards friends, embracing everybody. No, he would never talk ill of anyone. Gratitude, old friendships, values.
These are all life lessons.
Life lessons, tons and tons. Just the way he
So
would.
if you had just learned, like today it's happening online and all, then you wouldn't have been able to observe all these.
Yes, see, now
shades to-
online is mostly happening now, this last year, because of the pandemic. Otherwise, my students come home and most of them do one-to-one classes, almost all of them. And I try to. I have a very close relationship with my students. I am fortunate that they open up to me, they talk to me, they share things with me, and I try to inculcate these values even during class. Along with music, there is a lot of other things that go on, and I hope someday they will feel that it was really valuable, whatever went between us.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, you've got very long-lasting students who have been with you for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm about 8 years old in Chennai, 7.5 maybe. And
Somebody who's learned with you earlier have come back to you, and that also I heard.
Yeah, maybe a couple of them. Yes.
So we cannot go further without you sharing your. I mean, it was a revelation how you felt about Carnatic music and what made you gravitate to Hindustani music.
Right.
But you would remember some Carnatic music, song that you would have learned. I'm sure.
Of course, I do. I remember most of them. It's not at that point of time. Maybe it was destiny that I had to go to.
This had to
Guruji
happen.
also.
Yes.
And sometimes situations are created where certain things, certain chemicals in your brain, or certain things just don't take to certain things.
Absolutely.
So at that point of time, it was not something I wanted to hear, and I didn't get any peace out of it. And
Can I dare to ask you to sing a Carnatic, at least few lines?
I will try.
It's interesting for a Hindustani exponent to sing a few Carnatic lines for us.
I don't practice these days, but I do remember.
Not a
I
problem.
will try. Not at all. I am very blessed.
Neither did Pandit Jasraj ji ask
I
you
think
to do.
I will answer this post our small break that we're going to have.
Yes. So we'll have a small commercial break now and we'll be back with you very soon. Please don't go anywhere. We've got more and more to hear from Lalita.
So are my customers. How do I make them feel safe? Should I sanitize everything? But how does one sanitize air? How to make it clean and healthy? Green Factor presents Live Air. All-in-one air sterilizer, purifier and deodorizer. With 4-step air filtration technology. Pre-filter that removes harmful pollutants. HEPA filter blocks microns up to 0.3. Multiple UV tubes sterilizes to kill dangerous germs, bacteria, and molds. Activated carbon filter eliminates smoke and bad odor. Live Air, all-in-one air sterilizer, purifier and deodorizer, certified by accredited testing labs. Helping you to get back to life. Look beyond an air purifier. Ask for a demo today.
So we are back again. So Lalita, I was just asking you if you had to undo your learning. When you started with Hindustani music, was the fact that you had 16 years of learning Carnatic music, was it coming in your way?
No, actually, Sandhya,
did it kind of,
I can only say one thing based on my experience is I'm very blessed. Somehow my brain totally it's able to very clearly demarcate this and that, and I'm able to tune in and tune out. When I sing this, it's like totally another language, and when I'm singing that, it's like totally another language.
Fair enough.
And
like you're good in
yeah, so I totally forget that when I sing this, and I totally cannot think about this when I sing that. So it is when I listen to a lot of people now, or listen to some of the music aspirants who are even born and brought up in Chennai and they want to learn Hindustani, there's a lot of intonation, that Tamil intonation coming into the gamakas or coming into the words. At that point of time, I feel what I have is a blessing.
So how do you cope when you get students who have this?
So I keep on saying you have to say this like this and not like that. So small things, big things, it's like...
I'm sure Pandit Jasraj saw some spark in you, and that was the reason that he just announced that you're his new disciple.
Must have, definitely, I guess so. Today, whatever I am, what little I know is totally Guruji's blessings and my parents' blessings.
And it didn't stop there, because from what I read, he had put you on the job of taking care of his schools in Atlanta and
Yes,
LA and
somebody, some of his abroad audiences and fans suggested that he should start Pandit Jasraj schools in the US, and again,
why not?
Yeah, so Kala Ramnath and myself, we were one of the first ones to go there to Florida, and then we set up the school there, and गुरुजी was like, अरे तुम तो बहुत अच्छा इंग्लिश बोलती हो, तुम्हें जाना चाहिए, बाकी सब लोगों को इंग्लिश ठीक से नहीं आते. I'm like, okay. Guruji is so sweet. So from there again to Atlanta and then to LA. So about 10, 11 years in the US, setting up and running these schools. Every small thing is an experience by itself. You learn so much. You become aware of so many things.
Was it challenging to run schools?
Very, very challenging, yes. Very challenging. And, in some ways it's like a business that you have to set up and,
Absolutely.
to make your awareness.
So you had more
there.
of Indian students, Indian origin students
99% all Indian students only, obviously, yes. For percussion, which we had a percussion tabla section, there a lot of American boys would come for the drums thing, that's something they could relate to, because it's beats, it's rhythm.
Absolutely, yeah. Correct. So what brought you back to India? Of course, it's our gain, but what brought you back to India?
I would say My father was aging, and he was also constantly sort of. I've been always in regular touch with my siblings. I have one elder sister, one younger sister, and one eldest. He's the brother, and I'm very close to all of them. And they all sing very beautifully, though not seriously. I was the one who took up, and so I wanted to also spend time with my two beautiful nieces. So I said I cannot miss out on
You're
their
missing family.
childhood. Yes, and so personal reasons I just had to come up. I was growing old, so I said I want to spend some time with him. And
Fair enough, fine.
So those things matter a lot
And
to
you
me.
owe so much to them.
I have not seen God, Sandhya. I have only seen them in my parents and my guru. So I wanted to be with my father, and I'm glad I came back.
She was,
and I was a month away from my green card, and my students were like, "Ma'am, are you crazy?" I said, "नहीं, जो होना है बस वो होता रहता है. It's not the end of the world if I don't."
didn't
Guruji was a little unhappy,
urge you to
but,
stay back.
he was a little unhappy. But at that point of time, I actually lost my voice. That was another reason about.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I just lost it. It would turn husky even if I would speak for like 5-10 seconds. So there was a point before I decided to come back for my father. This was one of the reasons also that after having consulted a couple of very good voice specialists, they told me that there was a scratch in my vocal cord and that I should take a 6 months total silence.
Oh my God, Maun Vrat.
Maun Vrat. So I came back and...
आपसे हो पाएगा?
किया ना. Because I thought at the end of the tunnel there'll be light again. So but see, I had no other qualifications. Even if I work in a pizza parlor, I have to take orders, no? बातें तो करनी पड़ेगी ना. कौन सा काम करेंगे? So I kept quiet. I came back. Whoever called me wherever I went to temples. My best friend Nalini, she called me to Tiruvannamalai. I went there. My younger sister Vijaya had some manat in Puri, so I went with her to see Jagannath. Pulled the rath, came back. Then
all his work.
Yes, but then the miracle happened when I went to Pandharpur, which again I went to meet my brother in Bombay, and he sent me on a Pandharpur tour, which he had gone a couple of years back, and he said it's beautiful. So me, my elder sister, we went there, and Ganesh Kumarji, who runs InSync, he does that tour every year because he's a great Pandurang Bhakt. So I went on the tour, and 3 days I was traveling, and since I was totally mum, nobody spoke to me. I would just smile and theek hai, chalo, chalo. And I was listening to wonderful abhangs and music and lovely hospitality and everything. And the third day we went to Pandharpur in the afternoon, right in front of the Chandrabhaga river. We had a guest house, and suddenly Ganeshji comes in the evening and says, I'm going to do my seva in the temple every year. He does. In the Pandurang temple, and I heard that you are Panditji's disciple, your brother had introduced, and so can you please sing with me? You won't believe how stressed I became. And I would always have a pad and talk to my sister like that, you know. And my sister was with me, my brother-in-law
She was traveling with you in any case.
My niece, yes, Nitya was also with me. And he came and asked, he just came to, each family was given a room, and he just came and requested. And my sister was like, no, we are enjoying this so much, and, you know, let it be, it's your program, please sing. And she made up all those, kaun sa kahani abhi sunayenge, no? So, but it was relentless. 15 minutes he's still standing at the door and saying, no, I won't be able to pay you anything. I say, no, it's not a matter of anything, and it's just we are enjoying the music, you know, please let it be and all. And then he said, no, you just have to do alaps, and I just sing abhangs, but if you can do an alap in front of before each abhang, that would be great, please. And something, you know, I was already, 9 months almost 8 months of silence, and there was so much helplessness inside me, thinking, what would I do? And something snapped. I just said, okay. And my sister was like, what do you think you're doing? You want to spoil his program? Kya samajh rahe ho yaar? Kya hai this, that? Then I dressed nicely, silk pehen ke, saj ke jaake.
Bol diya to.
Yes, and Pandurang was in Chandanakap, was standing there. I said, look, this is your mandir, and it's your court, and the ball is in your court. You have to look after your self-prestige. I am only the device. Aapko jo karna hai kare. Because he is a person who has not spoken to me for 3 days. comes and goes on asking, kuch to hona hai. I will leave it to you. So I sat there, and first he did his warm-up, Jai Jai Ram, Krishna Hari, and all that, lot of shlokas and stuff. And then he told me to sing Shubha Panturale, which is we call as Todi in Hindustani, which is a very sad rag, okay? And C sharp, and my pitch was A. And Jen's pitch is very high, and C sharp. And there were about 700 people, Malakar, in the whole temple, 8 o'clock at night. And I sang in C sharp. You will not believe the voice came out so beautiful.
Perfect.
And my sister was literally in tears.
Oh, it's a miracle.
It is a miracle. It is a miracle. And then I sang 17 ragas that day. We finished at 12 o'clock. And then I just went and fell in front of Vitala, and that's it.
What a story. And we don't have time for 17 ragas, but I cannot have a Hindustani exponent sitting in front of me and making us sing Carnatic songs and not Hindustani. Lalita, please. आप अभी क्या गाने वाले हो?
सोच रही हूँ. I will sing a short shlok, which is very famous Guruji's bhajan in Ragnat Bhairav. Kararavindena padaravindam Kararavindena padaravindam mukharavinde viniveshayantam vatasya patrasya pute shayanam balam mukundam manasa स्मरामि बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव जिह्वे पिबस्व अमृतमेतत् एव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent, Lalita. Thank you. I mean, the whole thing is so different.
Yeah. So the main thing that makes you feel different is the gamakas. Gamakas are the connectors between swaras. So that is the difference between Carnatic and Hindustani. Obvious is the language and all those things, but it is the gamakas that make you feel the difference.
So how would you elaborate on it?
I will try giving you an example. There are 9 different kinds of gamakas. We won't go into. So, na ra na na ra na ra ra na. You say Kalyani, okay? Na ra na These are called meaned. You pull from a lower note to jump notes and pull to a higher. It is the connectors that make the difference.
Okay.
And then the speed, of course. Hindustani, it is very meditative. That's why you
Very
see I
meditative.
gravitated towards it. It is extremely meditative, and where the musical form is concerned, we have what is called as khayal, which is like an equivalent to a kriti.
In fact, I feel there are not so many words in Hindustani.
Yes, the average bandish or a khayal has only 2 lines of pallavi and 2 lines of anupallavi, which we call as thai and antra. So in the khayal, which as I said is a parallel to kriti, we have something called a vilambit khayal, which is an extremely slow composition, and one cycle is 48 beats. And we relate to the tabla, so you have to know the tabla bowls. We don't put talam on the hand, like in Carnatic. So you have to learn that cycle of the tabla language in order to place the song on that, and then do variations and vistar and manodharma and everything on the top of that. So that vilambit actually is very meditative, and you are using the words or the lyrics of the bandish only as a vehicle to paint the rag. So there's a lot of alap going on with rhythm.
Yes.
In a vilambit ek tal, we do a lot of alapana actually, improvisation, but within a huge rhythmic matrix.
So now your school is Swarangan. Right?
Yes.
Swarangan is your school, your brainchild, your baby. So you teach only Hindustani there?
Yes, I feel if I focus on one properly and do justice to it, that's and it's my identity now, Guruji,
Yes.
and I owe it to him. And as I said, whatever I have been now in life is due to him, and this is my way of keeping
Giving it
his
back.
memory
Yeah,
also.
fair enough.
Yes, Guruji passed away this last year, as you know.
Yes, yes.
So
Must have been a very personal loss for you.
yes, true. I think we'll have a small break.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking about Swarangan and your tribute to, you would like to keep his memory alive and all that you have learned from him. Obviously, you would like to pass it on. You don't want this knowledge to die
Absolutely.
with you. Right? So what do you think is today's shishyas or student culture? How is it different from when you were learning? Yours is like a real, blockbuster story where I feel you should write a biography.
I'm
taking
seriously
a train
thinking.
going from Kolkata to Mumbai to
वो भी
learn.
second class में बैठे बैठे कभी कभी
I mean,
sometimes अरे परसों आ जाओ गुरुजी will say परसों where would you get a ticket, just sit and go, that's it. See that kind of obsession and that mindset is very different today due to various reasons. I'm not blaming anybody. It is not you cannot expect the students to be that ready to take on so much in terms of challenges,
and just
boldness,
devote themselves
challenges
completely to
over there, because art is not everybody's cup of tea. At the same time, if a child is interested, it is a huge gift, and it is the duty of the parents to make sure that they give jaan to that thing and encourage, because art, music, dance, these are all gifts. It is not everyone cannot do it. People can enjoy, but to perform or to dance or to
be
sing
gifted
and to
in it,
become
yeah.
yes, it is a gift. I tell that to my students on an everyday basis. See, when I put this Shruti, for you to align to Sa is a gift. Believe me, I know what I'm saying. I have people who come to me with so much interest in music, but they cannot hit a sa. So I cannot teach them. It's as simple as that. So when you find your child to be gifted, you have to make sure that you encourage that in your house. You
But I
create a
think
mahal.
Today the
and-
parents are encouraging.
Yeah, they're encouraging, but the kind of hard work and the kind of focus and devotion necessary to become an expert in that field or to gain control of some aspects of that art is not an easy job. So if you just keep giving the child a feel-good factor and say, oh, you're good, you're good, you're good, and even before it really knows Sare Gama, there are young parents who are channelizing it in the wrong way by everybody gives everybody feel-good factor. And if you criticize somebody or as a good friend say that, hey, you are Besura and you really need to practice, they don't like you anymore.
Oh.
But then I don't care. I am the last person my students know. I never give them the feel-good factor because I genuinely want
And
them
your
to
teacher wouldn't have
learn nicely and sing well. Also, I have a great responsibility because when they open their mouth, it's my guru who will get hit first. I have a very major responsibility. So I drill them. I make sure even if they sing one song, it is in sur, it's in tal. They know what tal. They know what is the aroha.
Do they
know
have the
everything.
patience for that?
They don't. That is also there, that it's instant gratification time. Nobody seems to literally really hear and have the stoicism to sit, listen, practice. No, we used to take a phrase and practice is 200 times. Karte raho. Today, 10 times, I can't expect. But I keep at it. I'm literally a mother-in-law to my students in a bad sense.
You're not going to change your...
I am not going to change because I cannot lower my standards to appease somebody or to... So those who can stick to me, those who can't, they don't stick. So it is the duty of keep on giving the feel-good factor to the child. Oh, you're awesome. Look, my son does this, my daughter does that. And no, come on, yeah, give them hardcore training. You need to do this for half an hour every day. You need to practice for, then we'll see how you are. And that's how our parents...
In fact, today's parents are in their own way very ambitious. They push the child into all the
sometimes
reality
they
shows.
want to live through their children, which is very wrong. Now, everybody does not have to learn everything and excel in that. And you never excel if you learn everything. You will be a jack of all trades anyways. It will come down to that, So, the parents' responsibility is actually much more because we have so much exposure to music, dance through this media. You have to, everybody is uploading. Everything and anything, கேட்க முடியாதுக்கு இருக்கும் அது வேற அப்லோட் வேற
பண்ணலாம் நியூ லிட்டிலிஸ்ட்
ஆமா அது இருக்கு அத இருந்துட்டு போட்டோம் யூடியூப்ல போய் அப்லோட் பண்ணி so a child or a beginner when they listen to somebody else and they listen to me or to my Guruji, what would they know? Which is when you don't know. So are we promoting mediocrity? We are promoting mediocrity, honestly, I tell you. எதா வீட்ல பாடினா உடனே அதை அப்லோட் பண்ணுமா யூடியூப்ல? What kind of thing is that? I mean, you want to self-appease all the time, right from the time the child is born, or you yourself know where you are. Are you in Shruti? Are you singing in tune? Are you, even good to hear? Adu kuda self ku theriyalena. Why are you even uploading? I mean, who to tell?
Here you have somebody who has worked for 20-25 years.
Yeah, we are all, हम लोग गधे हैं क्या? हद है यार 10-10 घंटा रियाज करेंगे 20-20 बरस and then Guruji practices from the age of 10 and at 50 he becomes Pandit Jasraj. Is he an imbecile? Or for that matter Zakir Bhai or anybody, Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. That is something. Now they are Amar. They are experts. They have become stars in their field. And then if you have to look up to that and see their journey and try to follow that, not promote mediocrity. என்னோட குழந்தை பாடித்து ரெண்டு சாரி ஒன்று அதை எடுத்து யூடியூப்ல போட இது பண்ணா அது யூடியூப்ல போட. I mean, I just don't like it. It's my personal opinion and I can, say to the viewers.
You're on record.
That, please
you're
don't
on record,
promote
yeah.
this. Yes, I am glad I'm on record and I hope more people hear this and try to make your child work hard and work towards a goal so that they excel in what they do.
Absolutely.
And children also get burnt out. Chinna vayasula you're good. By the time they are 10, they either think that they are Zakir Bhai or Pandit Jasraj, or they like, I hate this thing. We push too much into it. I don't like it. I don't want
yes,
to
they
sing
start
anymore.
rebelling,
I have
yeah.
seen many youngsters, both here and in the US, say, "Mom, just leave me alone." Exact same words. So they get burnt out.
And we may lose out some
Very good,
students
yeah.
who
We
have,
may lose out some
good
very good
talent.
aspirants, good talent. Very much so, you know.
One question which was I used to always think, now we have different gharanas in Hindustani.
Right.
For a layman, you know.
You're calming me down, I know. Yeah.
I hope so. But
ठीक है भाई, हम शांत हो
शांत हो जाए.
जो है सो है.
So,
Yes, Gharana is
like
exactly like Bani.
She's from Kirana Gharana.
Kirana Gharana, there's Gwalior Gharana, Atroli, Jaipur Atroli Gharana, there is Bishnupur Gharana near Bengal.
And I think
ours is
Kishori
Mewati
Ammakar is from
Gharana.
Jaipur.
Yeah,
Gharana.
so the Gharanas again, as I said, in those days, gurus, you know, they have lived in one place and they have started singing, they have had disciples. Their way of Manodharam, again the Manodharam is where, see, we do, in our Gharana, we do equal amounts of Akar and Sargam tans. And in some Gharanas, the Akar tans will be more, the Sargam will be almost non-existent. And then the voice throw, in some, the voice throw will be, the Akar style will be slightly different, ours will be slightly different. So that is bandishes which are famous for this Gharana and famous for this Gharana. And then there are common old traditional bandishes which all of us sing.
आप सुनाओ एक खास बंदिश. We will be running out of time, and I know you can sing ghazals. I know you can do a.
Call me again, I'll come and sing all that.
होगा एक program.
So
बनाएंगे.
there's Yaman is a very old Ariali, simple bandish which everybody hears a lot. Sakhieri Ali piya bin, Sakhieri Ali piya bin, Sakhi kalana parat mohe ghadi pal chin din, Eri Ali piya bin. जब से पिया परदेस गवन किन रतिया कटत मोहे तारे गिन गिन तेरी आली पिया बिन. So this is sung by almost all the Gharanas.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's a very popular one, which is why I sang so, you know, listeners can relate to it.
We have a question from the viewers. At least one question's come up. For youngsters who aspire to become light music singers, I think they're talking about playback and things. In films, which genre, Carnatic or Hindustani, which would be more suitable?
I think Hindustani would be more suitable in terms of the fact that it gives more greater importance to Shruti and also voice throwing.
Lalita,
I am
you're on
not
record
controversial.
again.
I am just saying what I want to say. Yes,
You're again on record. You're saying that Hindustani gives more
absolutely
importance to
more
Shruti.
importance to Shruti is given because the first 6 months we only train. We give Shruti training only. We give Khada Sur practice. Sa, one whole breath. Re, one whole breath. Ga. You have to learn to hear the Tanpura, how to hear the Tanpura. Constantly hear it every day. So I make my students practice Om every morning 10 minutes with the Tanpura just to understand how to hear the fine frequencies. So we give a lot of importance, and there is to Shruti. You will see there are hardly any, I would say, bad sounding Hindustani musicians. You will not find. So a lot of importance is given to Shruti and to the voice throwing. Voice culturing is, you know.
In other words, you're saying there are bad sounding Carnatic musicians.
No comments.
But
यार क्यों मुंह में जबान क्यों यार.
अच्छा आप बताइए कि फिल्मी गाना कहाँ सुर में है? सब बेसुरा ही है ना आजकल?
See,
At least
each person's
many of it.
yes. See, it's today there are a lot of technology has gone up so well. You know, everything wrong can be made right. You know, so many things. आज बहुत सुविधाएं हैं. आप बेसुरा गाएंगे, आपको हम सुर में ला सकते हैं. वो भी है. You know, so maybe we will do one more chat like
Absolutely,
this. Go into all
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
What are you going to leave the viewers with? आप कुछ बताओगे या कुछ गा के सुनाओगे? Maybe 2 lines of a ghazal. I know you worked with Kelucharan.
I have worked with very, very great.
It was a dance
people.
ballet, right?
It was a dance ballet called Abhigyana Shakuntalam.
Kalidas.
Staged in Calcutta. Kalidasa's great
Totally
work.
in Sanskrit.
And Kelucharan Mahapatraji is the ultimate in Odyssey, and what a beautiful human being. And just to be with such people and interact with them, you
I think
learn
you've
so
had a
much.
very
Chennai also has embraced me, has given me so much in terms of my beautiful, lovely students. They get a lot of scoldings, but they still stick to me. Lovely friends, lovely, people who have been guiding me so much and giving me so much of good vibes. And I also had the good fortune to sing before Ilayaraja Saab, and then he immediately called me for recording a song, and that's like
This is for a film?
For a film. It was a film called Engamma Rani, but nevertheless, the chance to be with him to sing it's a beautiful experience by itself. So I love Chennai, and it has given me a lot at this point in my life.
I think Chennai also loves you.
I hope so.
I think we've come past time.
Okay.
So we need to thank you very much for being with us. And
it was really fun talking to you.
Absolutely.
And, this will be a start of a good friendship between us.
Undoubtedly.
Sure.
1 hour is not enough. So we look forward to seeing you again on our show.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So we sign off for today, and I enjoyed myself very much. In fact, it was very, very enlightening talking to Lalita here. And see you soon next Thursday, same time, same place.